Hey Diva Tribe, welcome back to our channel. I'm Megan and today I'm sharing with you my favorite packing tips to help you have your most successful, most smooth moving day ever. Now, up until I actually moved out of my house, I only moved one time. So at that point in time, moving days for us were a mess. Moving into our first apartment, our first condo, and even our first home were disasters. So anyone who helped us move that point in our life would tell you that I am not the right person to give you this advice. And yet, in the past 4 years, we've moved 3 times. So I'd like to say I learned a thing or two. We are on to our 4th move, and I feel like I've got this down. So without further ado, these are my top 8 tips for packing. Now, packing tip number 1 starts long before the actual packing begins. And this is deciding what you are going to toss. This is the time to go through your things, really take inventory of what you have, and you might be surprised at what you find buried deep into your closets that you no longer need. I know that we just did a huge purge of our home when we moved into an apartment half the size, and yet here we are 4 years later packing up this apartment, and I can't tell you how much stuff I'm finding in there that we have literally not touched in 4 years. So this is the perfect time to go through there because you don't want to take the time and pack all this stuff up just to get to where you're going and then decide to throw it away. Like, that's just wasted time and energy that you don't need. So take the time now to get rid of that stuff. You can donate it, you can throw it away, you can give it away, you can sell it, whatever you need, just get rid of the excess, okay? The second tip is to start early. So for my sanity, I often start 2 months before we even are moving. And we start with packing the things that we know we're not gonna need. So decor items, picture frames, things like that that are on the wall, that's the stuff that I start packing because not only do I have the time and energy to really make sure these fragile, precious, I guess, items are packaged correctly by, using the bubble wrap on the corners, putting it in nice boxes, really making sure everything's prepared right. Because let's face it, when it comes down to the day of, you're kind of cutting corners in some situations. You just need to get it on the truck and go, right? So when you start well in advance, you have the time to really put that care into your packing. Most people, however, would suggest about 4 weeks out to start your actual packing. And again, that's going to be decor items, things on the wall, out of season clothes, maybe cookbooks, that type of stuff. And then once you get to 3 weeks, that's when you want to take it another step. 3 weeks is when you can start delving in a little bit deeper. That's when we start going through board games, DVDs, linens, that type of stuff. At 2 weeks, things are getting serious. This is when you want to start packing up your office supplies, your kitchen, your toiletries, the stuff that you know you're not necessarily going to be needing in the next week, down to like that last day. But I mean, you're really starting to get to the nitty-gritty of it. And then that last week, that's where you want to do all the rest, right? Your clothes, your shoes, everything. Everything gets packed up at this point. Tip number 3 is probably my most important. So if you only take one thing out of today's video, I hope you take this with you and really give it a try. Because not only has everybody that I know who has used it found it to be a complete success, but it has been like, it helps me keep my sanity when it comes down to it. And so what this is my number system. I love just labeling boxes based on what rooms they are and trying to write in as much detail as you can what's in it. Let's face it, that gets complicated and it's hard to find all those boxes when it comes to moving day. So I've broken mine down to numbers. So you can see I have 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and each one of them has their own line. So the zeros are going to be miscellaneous and important documents. 100 is going to be the kids' bathroom, 200 kids' bedroom, 300 kitchen and dining, 400 living room, 500 master bedroom, 600 master bathroom, and 700 storage. So this is how I use the number system. Every time I pack a box, I determine what room this box is going to go into. And that's where I pull my first number, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the number box in that room that I've packed So if it's my first box that I'm packing for the kids bathroom, it's going to be 101. And I'm just gonna write that on there and nothing else. And then I pull out my trusty handy dandy cell phone, pull up my notes, and I have this all broken down and I list literally every single box, everything that I put in it. And why is this so helpful? Let me tell you guys. Okay, first of all, I print out a bazillion of these. I tape this on my front door and on every single wall in the house. And on moving day, when people are coming to help us move boxes in, all they have to do is look at the first number on the box and they'll know exactly where to put this box. So this not only makes unpacking a bazillion times easier for me, but it makes it just so much more efficient for everybody. Instead of always being asked, like as the owner or renter, everyone coming to you and going, where does this box go? Where does this box go? Everybody has a very clear picture of where everything needs to be. Also, when it actually comes time to unpacking the boxes, let's say you're in your first, second night in the house and your kids are dying to find this one special toy that they love and adore and they can't live without, and mom, I have to have it now. How do I find it? I go to my list that I have on my phone and I look, okay, so this would most likely be in the kids' bedroom. Look under those numbers and I look for the ones that have toys in it. And sometimes, like towards the beginning, I usually break it down very specifically. Towards the end, it might be a little more vague, but I can usually narrow it down to 1 to 3 boxes that it would be in. So instead of just ripping open every box in their room trying to figure out which one has the item they're looking for, I'm able to open 3 and find it very quickly, very efficiently. So this has been a game changer for me. And if you try it, let me know because I think you're gonna love it too. Tip number 4 is to gather up free boxes. I can't tell you how many of my friends just go out to U-Haul or whatever other store they find and just buy a ton of boxes. You guys, I just truly feel like that is an unnecessary expense most of the time. There are certain exceptions. Obviously, there are certain specialty boxes that are hard to find free. And there also are times where you are moving in a complete hurry and you don't really have a whole lot of choice. And sometimes it's sanity, right? That you just have to do those type of things. But for the most part, I'm gonna tell you our tricks to how we get free boxes. So the first thing that we do is we ask around. We usually post on Facebook or we just ask friends who we know have moved recently if they have any boxes they can give to us. And so many times we are able to get most of what we need that way. We also collect them at our work. We go around, we live in an apartment complex right now, so we're able to go around and look at the recycling bins in our apartment complex, and we've been able to gather so many great boxes that are still in pristine shape. But even if you don't live in an apartment complex, I'm sure you probably know of at least one close to you that you could go look around at. Stuff that's just being recycled anyway. Another good place to check is big stores. They have their dumpsters and recycling bins either right on the side or right out back that you can rifle through, and tons of times you will find just stacks and stacks and stacks of just flattened boxes in there that are so perfect for moving. So give it a try. I bet you will find 90% of what you need. Tip number 5, are you ready? Tip number 5 is to use your towels as packing supplies. This is just such an easy, simple, cost-saving tip that I feel like a lot of people forget to use. And when I help my friends move, I'm often reminding them of this, that they don't necessarily have to go out and buy all those supplies. Some of them, yes, but not all. Towels, whether it be bath towels, beach towels, kitchen towels, whatever it is, they work great as packing supplies. I like to wrap them around, bigger items like my vases here or mirrors, TVs, stuff like that. Even like your dishes, I'll kind of wind them in between there. I always use my towels as packing supplies and it keeps them so safe. I highly recommend it. Give it a try. Tip number 6 is to clean as you go. I know that in the midst of packing, you get in this zone and sometimes the temptation is there that you just like, I'll come back to the cleaning, I'll come back to the cleaning. But then when you think about having to clean everything all in one swoop, it's a little draining and a little bit exhausting. I find it just so much more efficient to focus on one room at a time instead of one task at a time. So after I pack up a space, I clean it thoroughly and then I work on packing up the next space. This will also save you time and energy when it comes to the end, because what I find is that when I clean as I go, when it comes to actually move out day, once I get all the stuff cleared out of the space and put into the moving truck, all I have left to do is a simple vacuum and wipe down, and we're good to go. So goals, am I right? Tip number 7. This is to pack a week's worth of clothing in your suitcase. Now, I know some of you are literally moving down the street and this may not seem like a big deal, but the reason that I think this is so helpful, even if you are doing a move that is relatively close to the home you're already in, is because when you're packing things in all these boxes, I find that so many times, like, okay, for example, there was this one time that we moved literally a couple streets over, and I thought I could just throw all our clothes and get it in the closet, but I couldn't tell you. I was getting ready for work the next week. It was just a couple days later, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job of unpacking, and I was just rifling through suitcases. Where's my underwear? Where's this shoe? Where's this? So I find that by organizing like a little capsule wardrobe, a week's worth of clothes in your suitcase, ready to rock with all the essentials you need, it makes it super simple that you aren't on any time frame for unpacking. You can unpack as you want to, and you still know where your essentials are. Doesn't that just seem to make sense? All right, it's my last packing tip. Are you ready for it? Packing tip number 8 is to pack a first night box. Maybe you have no idea what I mean, so let me break this down. Every single time that we have moved and I haven't felt prepared, we get there and I'm like, where are my cleaning supplies? Where is a box cutter? Where is this? Where is that? So I have learned that there's these certain things that I'm always seeking for right away, and so I pack it into a special little box. It's usually the last stuff I need as we're clearing out of one place, and the first stuff I need as we're moving into the next. So this includes stuff like toilet paper, cleaning supplies, scissors, box cutters, packing tape, a permanent marker, paper towels, paper plates, plastic utensils, stuff like that. So the reason for this is I find no matter where I move into, I know most people are pretty great about cleaning a place up before they leave. I've personally never moved into a brand new space, so I can't attest for that. But when I move into a place, most people are pretty good at cleaning it out, and yet not necessarily up to my cleaning standards. So I love to have basic cleaning supplies and paper towels, kind of just quick wipe things down so I feel like it's clean. Dish soap, that's another good one to put in there. The reason for like the marker, the packing tape, that's because, again, this is the last stuff that I'm clearing out of my house, and there always seems to be some random stuff sitting around in little areas that I just throw into a box at the end and we're like, miscellaneous, go. So like I said, it's the last stuff I put in that box. Scissors is super helpful. How many times have you guys packed up a scissors only to need the scissors to unpack your boxes? Guilty as charged. So I find this is super helpful just to make that first night as efficient as possible. Obviously the paper plates, napkins, plastic utensils is to make your first meal in your first home. Sometimes for several meals, takes a little while to unpack that kitchen sometimes, but that way you can grab some grub and get to eating. Even if you just ordered in a pizza or whatever, it just makes it so much easier for you. So I hope that these packing tips give you some new information that will just help your next move go so unbelievably smooth. Let me know if you had any aha moments in the comments below, something that just, whoa, I never thought of that. And also let me know if you have a packing tip that works for you, because chances are I'm gonna be moving again some point and I need all the help I can get. I'll just say that. Have a great day and we'll see you next week.